There's a quote I really like. The richest man is not the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least. Change your definition of wealth. If you want to be a wealthy man, you have to need the least in your life. And so what does that actually look like? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is not needing to drink coffee in the morning, right? I love drinking coffee. It's very good. It tastes wonderful. It's a highlight to my day. I don't do it every single day, and I usually only do it as a way to accentuate, I think that's the word, my creativity. So to kind of spark creativity, get me very focused. If I want to do a brainstorm for 4 hours, I drink a coffee, and it highlights that time, heightens my creativity in that time, right? But I don't need it. There's a lot of people who, most of the US, and most of the world nowadays, who need it to wake up. And so part of you is in debt every morning until you get your coffee. If you see what I mean by that, right? Okay, so if you want to be the wealthiest person ever, you have to lower your needs. And so that's one of them. Well, what's another? Having to have, sugar in your diet. There's a lot of people who they're like, I need my Sprite with lunch. I need my afternoon sugar rush, or I need a Diet Coke, or whatever it is. It's like, I need a bunch of sugar. That's basically what it is. I need it. A donut sounds great right now. Like, let's go get whatever it is. Like, sugar's a necessary part of your life. Even if you don't, like, consciously make it one, it subconsciously is one of the things that you need. And you'll notice that when you stop eating sugar for a while, you have a withdrawal and your head hurts, right? Okay, what's another one? Pain medication. Taking ibuprofen at the smallest inconvenience. When you have a headache, or when your foot hurts, when you have a cramp, these things, taking ibuprofen to block that, you're in debt to these things. It's a necessity to have these things to function. And so you're not setting yourself up. These are all small things where you're not setting yourself up to be a wealthy person if you are in debt to these things, right? Because if you're in debt, it doesn't matter how much you have, you're still in debt, right? And so if you want to free yourself there, that's one thing. But another is freeing yourself from social media. These are the subconscious things that control our day, right? And so then you go down this line of questioning and you realize that I have to change my definition of how I want to be wealthy. Because maybe it's unlikely that everyone becomes Elon Musk, but it's definitely not unlikely that everyone could become, wealthy in their time, right? It's entirely achievable, especially in the world that we live in, for everyone to be in control of their time and to put it towards things that are useful and productive and interesting and engaging, if everyone only realized what that looked like, right? And so I think as a society, we need to change the things that we brag about. For example, if you are the type of person who wants to achieve massive heights in your life, and I'm talking like things that require the most out of you. So not just, being interested in a subject, but being obsessed with a subject, becoming the expert and writing several books on the matter, right? If you want to become that level in whatever you're doing, just the expert, that's going to require something of you. And so for those types of people who want that for their life, which is most everyone, but those types of people who are actually moving towards that as well, here's a challenge, a change in your worldview and your change in your perspective that I challenge you to take on this next year and to carry throughout the rest of your life. Be careful what you brag about. So what are the things that you're bragging about right now? Just make a list of them. If you have to pause the video, that's fine. Recently in conversation, what have I brought up? Maybe I bragged about, I barely got any sleep the other night, or I try to, when I'm at parties, try to bring up that I know so much about football, right? This is not me. I don't like football, but whatever it is, what are the things that you brag about? And then try to ask yourself, well, is this a good thing? If I know, this is one that hits me, if I know a lot about movies, well, it's good that I have a particular interest in movies, right? But that means that, like, if I have a list of 250, 300 movies that I've watched in the past 2 years, that means I spent a very large amount of time doing that. And if I want to achieve these massive heights, I have to cut that out because that doesn't serve me, right? I have to be careful what I brag about, because if I'm bragging about, yeah, I spend my time doing this thing that doesn't necessarily provide me much outside of, entertainment, you have to be very careful what you brag about, because then you're encouraging that behavior. So try to ask yourself, what do I brag about? What are the things that I'm doing that I want to change, right? I have to start bragging about the fact that, I went for a run, or the fact that I learned a new vocabulary word. I put it into my repertoire. And that's not even the right word, but my lexicon. I think that's what it is, right? These are the things you want to brag about, because then you're reinforcing that behavior of doing the right thing, the positive, the beneficial thing for your life, because you're the type of person who wants to achieve those massive heights. If you want to do that, it's possible. It's going to require something of you. The first thing is that you should consider reframing the things that you brag about. There's a lot more on this topic, and it's not for everyone. So this video series, set of videos, the one I posted yesterday, this one, and every video in the future will be a difficult concept, and a lot of people are going to disagree. They're going to say that you have to take time to yourself, you have to do this, that, and the other. You have to do whatever you want to do, right? But you don't have to do anything. If you burn out, that's just because you're not strong enough, right? And if I don't burn out by not taking any time to myself, maybe I've prepared myself for that, right? And maybe you have that ability as well. If someone says that to you, don't feel the need to fall to their perspective on the world. Most people are wrong. Most people have no idea what they're talking about. So why would I ever trust someone that I have to do something? You're telling me what I have to do? Oh, you have to take time to yourself. Says who? I've pushed my limits enough to know that I don't have to. And maybe you don't have to either. You're just lying to yourself, or maybe you're telling yourself the truth because you just don't know. At the current point in time, you have to because you just have no idea that you have the potential within you to do something absurd. If only you work towards it. So, yeah. What was the start of this video? It was, I can't remember. I'm hungry, I'm tired, cold, and I'm having a great time. Why not us?